I'm your host, Davida Shensky, and you're listening to Live Without Limits, Reach Personal Success on a Daily Basis. The purpose of this podcast is to talk about relationships, talk about personal development, talk about personal growth, mental health, and psychology, things that can help you to live the most productive life that you can have. And today's presentation is titled Seven Important Things That You Need to Talk About Before Getting Married. And I feel this is a very important topic because in past centuries, early on, marriages were often made by a marriage broker, or they were basically not two people coming together with a common interest and love between them, but they were more of arranged marriages. And as things changed, as you started seeing more and more people getting into relationships, then communication became a problem and you started seeing a high rate of divorce. Therefore, we want to discuss the subject so that we can help you put yourself into a relationship that does not end up in divorce. Marriage is a lifelong commitment. It is a big deal and should be treated as such. When two people make the decision to intertwine their lives, there is a lot of compromising that has to happen. However, this can only effectively happen when both people know exactly what they're getting into and that there aren't any surprises. Whether it's your first marriage or not, there are certain things that you undoubtedly need to discuss before going on with the decision to get married. And so this presentation will be talking about the things that are of utter importance for you to think about. The seven questions to ask before getting married. Do you want to have children? It is easy to assume that your soon to be partner wants the same things that you, but can you never really know what they stand for unless you ask them? So the people also like the company of kids, but that does not mean that they want children of their own. So, how do you want to raise your children? If both of you want children, it is also essential to make sure that you are on the same path and understand what it is that you want regarding how you want to raise them. The parenting style that you want to go for should be complementary and not contradicting. Nobody would want to have children with someone and not agree on how to raise them. So, where would you want to live? If you're getting married, there is a high chance that you will end up living together. Agreeing on where you want to live is certainly an important aspect. You might not necessarily agree on the exact location, but if you both agree on a broad idea, the city or countryside, then that would be a great start. So, how do you handle finances? And this is a big one because we don't think about it, but often people can have different ways of thinking about their finances and not really understand that where you come from, how you manage your money. Often that's something that is not always talked about. So this might seem like an uncomfortable topic, but it should be addressed. Finances are one of the most significant divorce rate factors. In order to avoid uncertainty of financial differences, it is crucial that you get an idea of how your potential partner handles finances. Know where they stand in terms of debt and savings. How do you want to handle finances? Would you want to have a joint account or split bills equally or split it proportion with your earnings? How do you intend on investing in the future? Here's another thing to think about. I remember when I was taking Toastmasters, there was someone in there that was in the process of getting divorced, and he was a financial advisor making good money, but he literally quit his job so he would not have to support his ex wife. Would you want to change your name? In most cultures, the norm is that the wife takes the husband's surname. However, for a wide range of personal reasons, people also opt for other options like keeping their maiden names, having a double barrel surname, or even joining the two surnames to create an entirely new surname for the couple and their children. It is important to know what your partner wants, and if they are comfortable, let them share their rationale. This way, you will not be surprised should your partner decide to go for something different from what you had in mind. So, how important is religion to you? This will help you understand the role of religion, and it will play into your relationship. Should you uphold different religious beliefs, it will be essential for you to also discuss how you will accommodate the religions. If you intend on having children, you would also need to discuss the religious values you will pass down to your children. Often, when there's interfaith marriages, there is a big conflict, especially when each of them are so indoctrinated into the faith that they were raised in. What are your expectations regarding sex? I have read about people complaining of how much their sex life has changed since they got married countless times. Certainly, as the other aspects of your life change, your sex life are bound to change. But as this is at the core of your intimate relationship, it should not be simply ignored. You need to be able to talk about your expectations, what you enjoy, and what you would like to try. In order to effectively have this conversation, you need to start off by creating a non judgmental space where everyone can openly share. Everyone has to actively prepare before getting married. As you move towards getting married, remember that marriage is a partnership where both people best traits should be highlighted. It is not a DIY project where you work towards changing the other people. You both have to actively put in the work to make sure that your marriage starts off on a good and level ground. The above are just some of the topics that you should discuss. There are plenty more important things such as general lifestyle, diet, mental health, family history, and goals, both long term and short term, that you should talk about. However, sometimes we realize that after marriage that there are things we forgot to talk about before marriage. That is not the end of the road, and you can still have an important discussion even after marriage. After, oh, remember that people change. Sometimes the people who we were 5 years ago can't even recognize the people we are today. Similarly, we can't expect that your partner not change and grow, embrace the new things, and always work towards having the marriage of your dreams. By realizing and working towards some of the things that we talked about today, it can help you to develop a long term relationship that will not end up in divorce. And some of the things that we talked about are things that were never discussed between couples and why the divorce rate has increased 10 times in the last few years.